Alright guys, so I broke down. I decided to buy one of these. My MiG 145 220 from Century. Waiting for parts. It's an old Century welder. Had it since it was new, and I've used the heck out of it. And it still works great, but the fan is out right now. And I'm waiting for parts. I got the parts sent out. It said it was delivered, so they delivered it to the wrong house. So how long is that going to take for me to get it? So I'm like, you know, how long am I going to go with welding? I was using something similar to the Harbor Freight, the cheaper like 130 amp one that's for gas, but it's another by it's for Cornwell Tools. And so I just decided, you know what, this is an opportunity for me at the same time to possibly have a second welder and have one that works on 110 and 220, or I was going to get one that works on 110 and 220, but I already have a 220 welder. So I thought, well, I had a coupon for this one. They didn't have a coupon for the 170, so I figured, well, same time, might as well show you guys what I'm doing, let you guys check it out. And we're going to weld some different things. I've seen other reviews on this, and nobody seems to have tried to weld sheet metal with it, so I'm going to do some sheet metal welding. We're going to do some thicker welding, see if this thing really is a worthy welder. I noticed that the cheaper ones from Harbor Freight, the cheaper 110 ones, are, I wouldn't even call them a welder. They're kind of a welding machine. Whatever, soldering gun. They barely make a hot enough weld to really, you know, save their lives. So after using the Cornwell, I was just pretty frustrated. I couldn't burn through anything. I couldn't, if the metal wasn't perfectly clean, it didn't want to do it. Let's see if this one does it. And people go, oh, well, you don't want to weld stuff that isn't clean. Well, sometimes it isn't. You're going to have places where you cannot clean the metal and you want it to still work. So what's in the package? 2 rolls of wire. I'm assuming one looks like a 26 or 24 or whatever it is wire, and one flux core. I'm sure that's what that is. So we do have a regulator, which is nice. You know, you're going to need that, but it doesn't have a flow gauge, which is kind of a disadvantage. A knob. What the hell is that? Is that a tip?
That's it, yeah.
Is that for non-gas?
For flux core.
Yeah, for flux core, because it does not metal in. It's got a couple of tips in there. We've got some more tips as well. Looks like a wheel with 2 different sizes on it. And the welder. I'm going to tell you, it's fairly lightweight. Kind of makes me a little bit worried, but and then also it'd be kind of cool to have a lightweight welder. We got the good old Vulcan wire from Harbor Freight. I don't know, I don't see any difference between that and the stuff. I got this stuff too, but I'm not going to try them both. This is just standard MIG welding wire from the welding supply, which is about the same price. Comes with, I'd say, about 10 feet of pretty heavy duty cord. We do have our own extension cord made of this stuff, so we'll probably use that as well. 75-25 argon mix. This is what we were using before, so I want to show you the controls on it. I had a really hard time adjusting this. An inexperienced welder would have wouldn't be able to weld with this at all. So has on off, it has max, and I had it on max 2, which is the highest setting, and wire speed at about 5, around 5 1/4, and it would weld sheet metal, and that's about it. In fact, it pretty much that's the only settings it would work in. How's that? So it's basically a Cornwell Tools. I would say it's probably the MiG 130 Harbor Freight reboxed and relabeled to Cornwell Tools. I don't know. So when this one was in the store, this is what kind of caught my eye, is this right here. Well, here's our torch inside here. Feels kind of heavy, But what caught my eye was this is all metal, okay, which on the Cornwell, this is all really cheap plastic. So, and I'm thinking that's probably what's in the Harbor Freight one. And it does have, that was a spare, whatever that wheel is called. You guys might know more better than me. We got spool gun switch, make flux, and then you got spool gun right here, switch. So it is set up for a spool. Wow, autofocus is a little funky. So we got this here. We're gonna hook this thing up. So let's hook this thing up and give it a shot. See how it runs. Get this hose on here. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Some of the smaller welders aren't set up for this full-size spool, so keep that in mind if you're looking at other ones. What's kind of cool is this spool. A lot of them you have to take the wing nuts off every time. It looks like this one here. You just take this thing off and you actually put the spool on, so it's a little easier to do than those wing nuts kind of get to be a pain sometimes if you ever had that problem. And then you just slide this on. This goes on, this is reverse threads here. So it goes on like that. Then we just go ahead and feed the wire. Well, we found out it's actually very different. You know, if you've never welded with a inverter welder, I've never done it before. So it's actually like super, I would say after welding with 220, it's like way easier to me. You know, it's way easier to get a clean weld. And we're just trying to get used to the settings and stuff. The other thing I was going to show you guys that's really cool, it's super quiet. There's like no noise to this thing. Listen to it. I mean, the machine is like almost silent compared to my other welders. So we're welding through some really dirty stuff right now, and it doesn't care. It doesn't care. So that's a good thing. Most of the 110 welders, you're going to find the cheap ones, they do care a lot. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to do some welding, set up some stuff real quick here, and then I'll bring you guys back in. But so far, I'm absolutely kind of amazed at how well this thing works. So for the price, you know, if you drop a coupon, you can find it for 350 bucks, and it's a 110 welder that welds. It's I don't know what it works like on 220. The other one's 220, so maybe it's even better. I don't know. So let's try doing something that I haven't seen anybody do on YouTube yet. Let's weld some sheet metal. Really, what are you going to buy a 110 welder for? You're going to weld big thick stuff, or you're going to be welding sheet metal? Let's see sheet metal be welded, and let's not clean it. Alright, so we just did a couple test tacks on here. So we got a little gap going on. How did it weld that gap up? Pretty good, huh? It just filled that gap and not burning through or anything. And this is like 22 gauge sheet metal here, and that's 20 gauge. So you got two different gauges of steel. That's always harder to weld. So a lot of people show the easy stuff. We want to show a little bit harder stuff. Let's try and weld right here where it's maybe try turning up the heat just a hair. We haven't played with the settings much. Yeah, that one's 14. Let's go to like 15.1 and see if we can see if it burns through it, or if it, you know, how that works. So it sounds a little bit crummy. Didn't burn through. Wow. I'd say this thing's like the sheet metal king. Look at that weld. That's not bad. It's a little moundy. We could probably turn the wire down just a hair.
That's dirty. We didn't clean it.
And look at this. This is dirty metal. This is actually electro-galvanized steel. So if you're doing like car stuff, a lot of guys are using this. It's got a zinc coating on it. It's actually done through electrolysis. And maybe we can turn it over. Look at penetration. Wow, look at that penetration. Beautiful. can start to see the weld. You're just on the edge of burning through. Even these, and it still came out really clean. Not a lot of warpage. This welder so far, I may not even be fixing my. Well, I'll fix it, but I may not be using my my old 220 welder much anymore. Just running a bead now. We're gonna check that out. See how that one turns out. See if it goes through it.
Good at the end.
It got a little too hot at the end there. Look at the penetration. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can flip it over without burning myself.
Not bad for not setting the
That is, you know, and that's almost. What we did is we looked at the settings that they have on the lid. Let's look at that again. So it's 3 minutes welding, 7 minutes resting, versus the other ones are 2 and 10. Some of them, you know, but it still shows the duty cycle. And then, so that's a long ways. At 3 minutes, you can get a pretty long bead going on. And it has here all the wire sizes, you know, wire size, heat selector for what kind of steel you're doing. Maybe we should try a little thick stuff. What do you guys think? Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got some, I think that's 1/16, right? Mm-hmm. And this is 1/8. All right. What do we want to do these? Want to weld the edges together? We can just cut them back off, I guess. Let's weld it like, ooh. Yeah, but I better put it on the, hold on. All right, so I'm just going to hold it while he does it. I'm looking away right now. Didn't even reset our settings, did we? Nope. We're on the slow side. Yeah, it's a little on the slow side. Try turning up the heat. Let's see what it does. Didn't quite get across. Got to turn up the heat a little more so it wants to heat up this one.
Nice little bead though.
But yeah, the bead looks great. I mean, that looks like nice and clean. I would turn up the wire speed and the heat quite a bit and try it again. Got to get a little more of this going on so you get up to that steel piece. It's not really. I mean, the welder's working great. I'm not complaining about the welding. I'm complaining about the guy doing the welding. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say.
That's because I'm not doing it right. Well, everybody has their own opinion. He's doing a great job, though, isn't he, guys? Let's try this side. Make sure you get your angle up on the thicker stuff.
Yeah, we need some more speed on that.
Yeah, I need a little more speed. Looks like it's doing it, just no problem. Very, very clean. You know, that's one thing. Don't you think the cleanness is way better than the other welders that we've used? Mm-hmm. It's really clean. It's very easy to use. Very easy to me. It's like I used it for just a minute, and I was like, "Wow, this is like really easy to weld nice welds with." Because I think that's the inverter technology. Again, we didn't hit this with a grinder. We just wiped it off a little bit. Oh, you got penetration now.
Yeah, speed.
I can see that one's hooking up right there. Go over the whole thing again. Hopefully I was looking away, so I don't know if you guys...
It's a little
yeah, it's a little moundy, but like I said, I think if you had the heat up a little higher, I mean, we don't even have it. We got it right here. We're at 6. We could probably even turn it up to about, let's say 8. I'm going to say wire speed was, well, we're using small wire, so we could probably go to 8, probably, or 8 or 9 on the wire speed. So we're using 0.26 wire. Try just go over that bead one more time with that same one you did, the first one. I'll show everybody that. See how it does at a hot. Let's do a really hot weld. Hang on a second. Let me put you guys in the right place so I'm not looking at the. Trying to. There we go. I'm looking away now. Definitely got a different sound, doesn't it?
There we go. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. I told him he just needed more heat. He's always afraid of that button. Look at that. That's nice. I mean,
I like burning holes through stuff like
wow. Well, I like to burn holes. I'd rather burn holes, man, and have it penetrate than have something that doesn't. But that looks pretty good. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying we're not award-winning welders or any shit like that, guys.
Not even close.
We're just hobbyists. We've done a lot of welding. I've been welding since I'm 15, you know, off and on, you know, doing my own projects. And I would say, man, I'm actually pretty shocked. I thought this thing, I was ready to take it back to the store. And now,
pretty clean with the heat.
That's not bad. Let me see. Look at the, you guys can see that. That's really not too bad. I mean, first time using it. We've been using it we barely, in fact, you guys pretty much saw, we fired it up once. We did 2 little spot welds down here on this thing here underneath, just to see if it even worked. And we were kind of like going, wow, this thing's pretty, not too bad, which we could probably dial it in and get a little bit closer. And I wanted to try it on something dirty, and that, you can see that is not clean at all, and it did it. So, because if it can weld on something dirty, then it can definitely weld on something clean. I'm going to say this thing is amazing for the price. I was looking on Amazon. There's nothing in that price range that's inverter that has $350. I would definitely buy this one again. I don't see how you could lose, honestly. It does a great job welding. I'm actually pretty shocked.
First time trying it, I mean, we can actually lay a decent beat down.
Yeah, and I'm not even used to the settings at all. I'm not used to how a welder works, and every welder is a little different. You know, you get to use one and then get to use it for a while, and this one lays down a nice beat. I mean, the welder is a job. I would say somebody who's beginning welding, I would not buy the Harbor Freight cheap one. You know, the ones what's the cheap one? What do they call it? Chicago, whatever welding. I would not buy one of those. I would buy one of these. So after using it here just for a little bit, I mean, you can come back maybe in 6 months or a year. You know, the only issues that I could see possibly that might be a downfall, which we don't know, and nobody's going to know, is how long are the electronics going to last inside. You know, you're looking at, this is a $350 investment, okay, if you use a coupon, which you guys can all go online and find a coupon, HF something DBQ or something like that. Go on Harbor Freight free on your phone. Look up for the coupon. They have them going right now. They almost always have something for these welders. And buy one of these things for $350 or $400. Even if you paid full price, it wouldn't be too bad. And let's say it didn't last you. It lasted you a third of as long as you bought, let's say, a Miller 211, which is about $1,400. You know, you'd have a new welder every 3 years or whatever, right? Say, how could you lose? You know, I don't think you could lose on this one. I think this is actually a winner. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know how good the electronics are inside, and I would say the issue a lot of times we've heard from. I was talking to the welding supply, and they said the only issue with these inverter welders is they have a lot of electronics in them, and if you get the metal parts inside of them, and you know, you can start to have premature failure from that. So if you keep it clean, and you know, like, I'm not going to keep it in an area where we do any kind of painting or anything like that. I'll make sure it stays away from that stuff, and because it does have the electronics in it. And I would suggest you do the same. If you did, you'd probably get decent life out of it. I don't know. Those are all what ifs. But Does it work excellent? You know, I don't know if I ever used a welder that was better. I don't know. I don't think I have. But you know, then again, I don't weld all the time. So as far as the way it's built, as far as everything that I'm seeing, I think this thing is actually a super good value. Can't lose on it. If you have one of those Harbor Freight ones, it's whatever it is, their house brand welding cheap garbage one. You might want to upgrade. Time to do it. You'll actually be worth it. I think you'll save yourself time and money. Talk to you in the next video. Please leave your comments. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see some more stuff welding going on, check out this 67 Westphalia we're doing right here. Doing a restoration on it on the channel. It's the kind of stuff we do. I do all kinds of cars and restoration and little things like body work and whatever. Come back and I do engine builds, all kinds of stuff. Alright, talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.